You asked for me to recreate more Minecraft AI builds, so here we are. But okay, let's get to it. I already prepped this area because this is the build that I'm going to be following. And originally I wasn't going to do it because I thought it was going to be too complicated. But then I went to the comments and saw this. So now I feel like I have to do it. So let's start. I don't think I'm going to be able to make any type of guide first. So I'm just gonna grab some blocks. Those blocks don't exist, by the way. We don't have anything that looks like a brick, like a pink brick. I think the closest that we have in color is a stripped cherry wood, and there's like also some pale pink brick, but we don't have that. So I think the only thing similar that we have is like exposed copper next to cherry. Kind of looks pink. I might use that maybe. White terracotta looks kind of pinkish, and it's actually quite a good match for color, but not in texture. So we have this is a debate. Or we can just also use cherry planks. It's kind of similar and it still has a bit more texture than the terracotta. I think I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, right already. Okay. It was exposed copper, but I didn't grab the waxed. So these are my options. I think I'll try it with the copper and see how that looks like. If not, we can just change it later, to be honest. Then I'm also gonna use a bunch of spruce. So let's grab that. I'm probably gonna use some trapdoors too. Maybe some fences, who knows? The roof though, I have some ideas because that color also includes a door. So I was thinking we can use warp wood, but the color doesn't match at all. It's too dark. I was also thinking of prismarine. I think the color matches a little bit better, but the texture is not really the same. You can see in the photo it's like a brick texture. So maybe we can go for some coppers, also kind of similar. Actually, very similar. I might use a copper, actually. And then at the bottom, the foundation has like some blue / brown gray mixture of brick. And I think for that, the easiest thing is just going to be mud bricks. It's a similar tone too. And this one's perfect for the door. I was considering using the warp one. It looks like this, but the one in the picture has a hole in it. So I think this is going to be more than perfect. Okay, so this is a color palette. Let's try to make the layout first. And of course, I didn't do the layout first. I thought it would be easier to look at the picture back and forth and try to follow the bits that I can see. I started off with the very corner where the entrance is, kind of trying to measure my way through, but of course there wasn't any blocks that I could measure. But geez, it was so difficult. I barely even started and I was already running into small issues. Let me pull out some walls real quick. Oh, we don't have anything. But it's pink. I'm so confused. Oh, maybe like this. And okay, maybe I'll grab some of the stairs. I forgot how confusing this was. Maybe like that? Oh, never mind. This is supposed to be blue, but it's gonna look so bad. Like if I base it off the picture, it's supposed to be like that, but it looks very questionable. No, I think that looks worse. Bro, I don't know what to do. I think the best course of action is going to be the stairs. But okay, I think that's the best that we can do. Afterwards, I kind of just tried to go step by step, and let me explain to you my thought process while building. I could kind of tell the amount of blocks by how large the gap is in between like the textures, and I'll try to explain it here. So if this is supposed to be 1 block, I'm guessing that there it had to be 2. The door was very big, but we didn't have doors like that, so I'm assuming it's like 3 blocks wide. And the door being 3 blocks wide, it meant that the entrance area was supposed to be 5 blocks, and that's how I went with everything. I was kind of just like reverse engineering the picture, even though I couldn't even count anything. In the previous video, the builds that I recreated did seem a little bit more like Minecraft. I feel like this build was just like for inspiration with like the essence of Minecraft. In the builds that I did previously, I feel like those were maybe like AI modified ideas of Minecraft, not really inspired on Minecraft, if that makes sense. I don't know. I had seen this picture a lot of times before, just around where AI started to infiltrate into Minecraft. So I'm pretty sure that this is one of the first pictures that ever came out when Minecraft AI started being a thing, and then gradually became a little bit more sophisticated, hence the builds that I recreated in my other video. So I think that's my theory. But either way, let's go back to the build. I'm gonna try to make this part of the house. On the side, I can kind of tell that there's supposed to be at least either a window. Wait, I just noticed the fence just disappears halfway. Oh, I didn't even notice. I was planning to make that like a porch, and then on the side have like an entrance to the porch because there's no other way to get in there. But I just noticed that it goes completely solid. It looks like planters, I think. My plans have been foiled, but whatever. I'll try to move on. I think there's like a 3-block space in between. To be honest, I'm just completely guessing. I have no idea how many blocks there actually are. I just feel I just feel like this is correct, you know what I mean? The right side of the house, the one that I'm building right now, was definitely one of the most complicated parts, just because in that part alone, there's 5 roofs that merge into each other, including the dormers. And of course, I couldn't even follow the shape of it because the trim truly wasn't even stairs or slabs. So I tried to make it easier for myself and just tried to match the shape of it instead of going for the blocks themselves. And I feel like this was way easier just because I already had the experience of recreating AI builds from the previous video. Otherwise, I think I would have been way more lost, to be honest. And you'll see the result at the very end, but not gonna lie, I'll pat myself in the back. I feel like I matched the build to the picture so well. I think the only significant difference was the color choices, especially for the pink, but we don't have anything that tone of pink, and I wasn't about to use pink concrete. Oh, and then for this side of the house, I think there was supposed to be like 3 windows there. I was ready to just place some glass panes in there, but I feel like that was a mistake on the AI because the rest of the build has like arches and like round windows and it's so detailed and everything. So I didn't want the front to just be all nice and decorated and for the other sides to just be like plain. So I took a little bit more creative freedom just to make it match to what I thought it was supposed to resemble. But after that, it was time to make the second floor, and I had my concerns because it looked really complicated. I don't know if it's going to be easier, but I think I'm just gonna move on to making this part of the roof, which has like 10 roofs on top. The blocks kind of bleed into each other, so it's really hard to tell what's going on. I guess. I think it's supposed to be like that. I can't even tell what the roof shape is. I'm just gonna try to match the height of it. Oh wait, there's another pokey outy bit like this. There's like a side of the roof of like the trim of the roof that's missing. I mean, it's fine. it's fine. We can do it still, but it's kind of funny how I completely missed that area. This final part at the top, I feel like it was a lot easier than I expected at the time. It was literally just making a box with a roof on top and then like 2 dormers on the sides. The back though, I just completely left it open for the time being. I didn't want to concern myself for the back just yet. On this point of the build, I was way more concentrated on making it look like the picture from the front since I didn't have any reference for the back, so the back was the least of my concerns. But actually, I thought it was pretty funny. The roof trim has like a little curly bit at the very end, and you'll see in the next clip I was really struggling. I never do fantasy style builds. This is one of maybe like the 3 in total that I've ever done, so just enjoy my struggle. Maybe, okay, I think it's supposed to be like this. I kind of just, oh never mind, I think I just have to wing it kind of like that. I think maybe what if I do is like a stair right here. Oh, I think that looks better, but it looks curlier. And then an upside down stair. Kind of. I think I just need to do that like 1 block higher. I don't know if that's what I had before. I keep looking at it like in so many different ways. I don't think I can figure it out. It's so weird because the picture kind of blends it in with a cloud in the background. Oh my god, I think I'm onto something. Maybe. No, wait, the other way. The other way. This way, and then a trapdoor like right there. Never mind. I thought I could do something similar to that part. I like the one that I had before, but I don't even know what I did. I think it was just like a stair. Wait, what about a wall? I mean a shelf. That looks a little bit better. Because it looks like it almost has like a trapdoor. If it were aligned to this part instead of that one. What if I do like a... Oh! What if I open it? No. What if I... Oh! I think... I finally got it. But that part alone took me like 10 minutes. Oh, good. I'll do the chimney a little bit later just because I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the back. All I have is like this angle, which is looking... I feel like it looks pretty spot on. I just need to... Oh, this is the hard part. I think this is the hardest part. Once I started, it wasn't too hard, to be honest. I was just exaggerating. But I tried to work on the build kind of like backwards. This is nothing like how I would usually build. The way that I was building here is a completely different technique to what I usually do. For this part of the build, I was just using the top window to base everything around it. So the window has like these details on it. So I can kind of count like 4 blocks blocks, but there's clearly a middle block, so I made it 5. That meant that the arch around it was going to be 1 block on its own, so 5 plus 2. Then I thought that there was like a 1 block gap in between the edge of the house and the arch, so in total it was 11, and that's how I went with this part. I was just trying to make it in like pieces so it all fit together, because once I had the window done, I could easily make the rounded balcony at the bottom, because from that perspective it kind of seems like it's 1 block wider from the actual window part, and then from that point forward everything else just kind of aligned on its own. Oh, you can see me trying out different types of decorations for the window. Truly it should be like a metal bar, but we don't have anything like that. So I tried fences first, and I didn't really love the idea just because the fence gates were just too wide on the top and bottom, so it didn't really match. So I tried trapdoors and that didn't really work. I feel like it had potential, but it wasn't going to work just because trapdoors don't really match together that way. So I ended up going back to the fences and the fence gates, and to be honest, I don't feel like it looks that bad. I feel like the end result, because I used that same design with the fences and the fence gates for the rest of the build, I don't feel like it looks too bad when you see it all together. Then for the roof part, I just really wanted to make sure that the rounded window was going to fit in between the roof and the arch. So I made the rounded window first and then made the roof go around it. Again, I couldn't follow anything in terms of blocks, so I just followed what I thought the shape would have looked like. And then for the bottom window underneath the balcony, I was a bit confused just because there's like a tiny bit of wall where the supports of the balcony are, but it also looks like it blends into the window at the back. So I thought there was a support for the balcony just because it looked a little bit thicker than the details on the window. But either way, I still added some of the details in the window just like I did with the one above. And then unfortunately for me, it was time to make the part of the roof that I was putting off where everything converges into each other. Huh? Okay. Block, then a stair. So a stair right here. Oh my god. Okay, this is so unbelievably complicated for no reason. Then this is supposed to be a stair. Stair right here. I think I'm just gonna do like a slab to connect this part. And then some full blocks over here. Just to cover that up. Yeah, I think so. Oh my god. If you look at it from this part, it's looking pretty good. So, because this is the biggest part and it's going to... Wait, let's see. That part of the roof ends... It's this one right here. So... over on this side, it ends there. And I was thinking that we can make this part just a tiny bit shorter, just so it's not like just like a block. From this point forward, it was easy and hard at the same time. It was obviously hard because I didn't have anything to use as a reference, but that made it a lot easier because that kind of gave me the creative freedom to do whatever I want for the back. So for the rest of the clips that are part of the back, I completely just invented it. And then you can kind of see in the next clip is where I realized that I was basically going in blind. This is like making like a jigsaw puzzle without the instructions. Or like the photo, you know what I mean? It's so odd to follow nothing, you know? And then for the other side of the back of the house, I feel like this is where my building skills were really like put to the test. I knew if I made it all like a rectangle, it would look really bad. So the way I went through this was at least having everything be like a 1 block difference from each other. That way it just really separates all the parts of the house from each other. And again, because I was just sort of freestyling, a lot of those parts of the build were just way more intentional instead of having to copy it from the picture. That being said though, I still had a wraparound porch, or at least I thought it was like a wraparound porch that went on the side of the house. But because I only had the tiniest bit to work with, I also took that creative freedom to do whatever I wanted. But don't worry, I still made it match to the rest of the house. Okay, I think we can make that part of the porch. It doesn't seem to be like too complicated, but it's at least like 3 blocks, I think. The house is way bigger. I mean, I knew it was gonna be big, but it's way bigger than I anticipated. I'll put the reference picture here just so you guys can see what I was trying to work with. I had nothing. I had nothing to work with. There's a fence in the middle that doesn't really connect to anything. That part of the roof, I was just assuming that it was going to be slabs. And then maybe like upside down stairs for those bits that are poking down. I took it upon myself to add a bit more details, at least to the sides, just because I didn't want everything to just be like a solid fence. And then in this clip, you can see me like going back and forth. I was so confused as to why the roof wasn't matching on both sides. And I left that part in the next clip just because I thought it was really funny to see my confusion. So on you go. Okay. And then this starts wrapping around. This one crosses over. Oops. This one crosses over like... Huh? This one touches that part, and then this one at the bottom cuts over right here. How? How did I... How does it touch? Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh my god, I was so confused. Okay, it does that. Jeez. And then the one on the bottom is just... okay. It goes like that. Yeah. My brain. And now it was finally time to decorate the back. For the most part, it was pretty okay. I think the only issue that I had was that I never do fantasy style builds, so it was a little bit more out of my comfort zone decorating like this. And I was really debating on whether I should modify some stuff, because on the right side of the house, I'll put the reference picture here. You can see like on the side, the second floor of the house doesn't really have any details. Like it doesn't have windows. It just looks to be like a solid wall. And if I compare that to the front of the house, it just looks so wrong to leave it that way. I felt like it would have been a disservice to the build if I didn't make the rest of the house match, including the back, even though it was a part of the house that it wasn't really included into the picture. So I made it my job to just include as many details as I possibly could while still matching the vibe of the front of the house. So you can see me adding a bunch of detailed windows. On the side of the porch, I added another door matching to the front door just so you have some form of access to that porch, because like, I don't know, I don't think there's any other way to get there if I hadn't made that door, so that's why I included it there. This back wall was so big and intimidating, I didn't know what to do, so I decided to separate it a little bit more by adding, I don't know if it's called a dormer or just like a different section to the house. That way it could split up the giant wall that we already had and then include the same rounded window that was in the front. It just basically mirrored, and I feel like this way it really did match the rest of the house. I feel like the front was definitely a bit more intense with the amount of decoration and different sections to the house, but if you look at it from the back and the final result, I don't feel like it looks too different, and that's what I wanted. I really wanted this house to feel cohesive around the entire thing, not just one place, because overall I feel like the house looked really good from that one angle that I had, and not really having any other perspective of the house made it really hard. I would just love to see other people who have recreated this house in Minecraft just to see what their version of the back looked like. So this is just my version that I'm throwing out there, and then the front is just basically copy pasted from the original AI photo. But after all those details, I was getting so close to actually finishing this thing. It took me a total of 4 hours to build this entire thing, so by the end I was just hoping that my next step was going to be the last, but there were so many details that I was missing, especially the plants that were everywhere throughout the house. So that was exactly what I was about to do. I think I'm gonna use flowering azaleas with also a mix of like cherry. I'll grab some vines because those kind of look like them. And then for the other lush parts, I think I'm gonna use glowberries too. I'll keep this one pretty short and simple. I just wanted to include a comparison for both photos because I feel like at the very end when I started placing those leaves, it felt like it was actually looking like the picture, and that was really what tied it all together. It was the piece that was missing because I was looking at it constantly and I was starting to think that it wasn't going to look very accurate, but at the end I feel like it really worked out, and I really hope that you guys agree. But finally, the only thing left was a few details at the front of the house, and we were done. Those flowers, those flowers in the planters, I can't even tell what it is properly. I think I'm just gonna use tulips, like pink tulips, maybe some cherry saplings, and I'll just place like a piece of string. I think that one can't even grow on its own, but I think like this. And maybe I'll just grab some bone meal so we can have like some grass too. I completely forgot about the chimney. Let's see if we can. It looks like stairs, but it's like wrong. So I'm gonna destroy this part right here and then just build it up. I feel like it's supposed to be a 2x2 chimney like this. I don't see any smoke like at all, but I'm assuming that it has like some sort of campfire. Shelves kind of have that texture, like that shape. Like if you look at it from the side, you can kind of tell what I mean. So I'm gonna use that. The one in the picture is a little bit too messy, but I feel like that's good. Okay, so I'm almost done. I think I just want to do the path that's in front of the house. I'm guessing it's like granite and... Damn, I don't even know. Maybe like some deep slate, like something darker, maybe like tough. I think I'm gonna do granite and tough actually. And it's a path just like purely like in front of this part. And then it goes off to the side a little bit thinner, maybe like this. Okay, so that's done. I think the last thing that I would need to do is just to add maybe some leaves, flowers that we don't really have. So yeah, I think I'll just do that really quick and I'll be back. So finally, this is how the completed build looks like. I also felt like I had to add some of the butterflies. It just felt incomplete without them. And I'm super happy with them. This is my first time ever making butterflies in Minecraft ever. But either way, this is a build. This is how the side looks like. I ended up including a bunch of details like this. Some more lanterns and fence gates. Another dormer here at the top just because it felt empty. Then on the back we have a bunch of more things. So I included the planter. I added a tiny little window down here. And then on the right side it looks like this. I feel like you already saw this a lot, but I feel like it looks really good and I'm so happy with this. And for a final comparison, on the left we have the AI version and on the right we have the recreated Minecraft version. I'm pretty happy with how this build turned out, and to be honest, it's not that bad of a house if you build it in survival. Oh, and one last thing, I am going to include the world download for this house down in the description, just in case you want to check it out and see what I did, because to be honest, I have no idea what I did, but just in case you're interested or are planning to recreate this somehow, I'll leave it as a resource down in the description. Also, here are the coordinates in case you need them, but either way, it was pretty fun. This took me hours to do, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Oh, and Happy New Year!